Sorry, this is the face God gave me.
All right. We're here at our Thursday night MRT in Parker Heights, Texas, which is just outside of Killeen, Fort Hood. And this is Roger Russell. Roger was a Baptist missionary in Romania for 10 years. And
Thank you, Elizabeth.
the Lord led him to this area to plant, I'll let you explain, but what I understand is missional organic churches and communities. So, Roger, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what God laid on your heart and how you got here, and then I want to ask you something specific about how you knew God brought you here.
Okay, let's say the biggest transformation that took place in our life in 10 years that we were out of the country was really getting a better, I'll say, a better understanding of what the New Testament really means, particularly about what it means to be the body of Christ, what the gospel truly is, as a gospel of surrender and lordship, as opposed to just something that you can just tack on as an addendum to your life. So anyway, we had this just radical personal transformation in our time, in our decade in Eastern Europe. One of the things towards the over the last several years, as of our time there, as I was processing the changes that were taking place in our life, it was sort of a recognition that I was being prepared or transformed, remolded, reshaped for work back in my own culture, with my own people group. Rather than working behind the scenes with Romanian nationals, it was time to become the face on the mission. And so we, two summers ago, we came back from Eastern Europe, specifically to Central Texas, because, partly just because this is the only place that this is where we had one of our three sons that was located, and also because he had invited us to become a part, or encouraged us to come and be a part of some church planting that he was involved in at that time. Coming back, one of the things that I've had to work through is sort of a willingness to not strategize, to allow God to reveal His team and His strategy in His timing and in His own way. And it's been remarkable and scary, exciting, frustrating. Just it's been real, and that's where we are now. I'd say right now we're sort of seeing through the glass darkly as far as what the next chapter looks like, but we're seeing, and it's encouraging to be a part of whatever God's got planned for us right now.
That's awesome. One of the things we're doing, Roger, with our apprenticeship is practicing listening to God and intentionally listening to what He's saying to us on a daily basis, and then communicating that with our CO2 partners and then with the other people in our cohort. So, kind of go through the process of how you heard God come to here, and what was that process of listening and hearing Him say, "Come to Central Texas and plant." I mean, was it a vision? Was it a road to Emmaus? I mean, not a road to Emmaus, Damascus Road. Yeah, or Emmaus. Did Jesus show up? What was that process like for you?
All right. One verse that is very important to our life is Psalm 104:6 or 110:6. Anyway, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in all the earth. That being still, basically, I can hear hear God saying, "Roger, just shut up, be still, stop working, stop struggling so hard, and allow me to talk to you. Be still and know that I have a plan. I am God, and my plan is going to be accomplished." So, I would say a lot of His revelation of His will, at least His permissive will, it just came from a time I over the last several years, had developed much more intentionally a discipline of solitude and silence, meditation, the disciplines of separation, and just not so much praying and telling God what I thought He needed to know, as it was sort of creating the tabernacle in space for God to inhabit, or as the tabernacle in time for God to inhabit if He so chooses, and just there, I just had this sense of rightness, and I don't really know how to explain it other than that. In that, this is a work that I've prepared in advance for you to do. This is the path that I've laid out for you to walk in. Why Central Texas? One of the things that was instrumental, I'd say, and I don't recall how I learned about it at the time, or who first showed it to me. But one was Isaiah 35, which I've read here. That road of righteousness, and the parallel between Isaiah 35 and Interstate 35, and there's a prayer movement around I-35 that goes from Laredo to Canada, and just sort of I had an understanding, or just a understanding vision per se, or just see it in a picture. If God were to do a transformation in the heart of Texas, and this is literally by definition. We're deep in the heart of Texas. If God were to do a heart transplant or transformation in the heart of Texas, it would impact not only the center of the country but both coasts. And I'm waiting to see God change the world. Not just change my life, not just change my little community or family or whatever like that, but hey, I'm looking for a God tsunami to flatten everything around the world.
Awesome. Thanks, Raj. Appreciate your time tonight.
All right. Thank you.